Hi, I'm Mark Scherer. I'm the CEO and founder of Encompass Life and the host of the Wellness Revolution podcast. And, and today we have Margo Harrison on the call. And Margo is the CEO and founder of WaveBye. And I was like, what the heck is WaveBye? And what she is waving by to is period issues. So quite a catchy name. Margo is a very interesting person, so I'm really glad she got on the call today. And Margo is a connoisseur of little known facts as well. So I'm I'm enthusiastic to hear what she's going to come up with. Margo, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited. And
Yeah,
I'm happy to
me
tell you the
too.
backstory on the name if you'd like to hear it.
Yeah, please.
Well, I don't know if you people have seen Clueless. Maybe I'm dating myself, but the movie Clueless, she asked to get out of, doing some homework or something because she's riding the crimson wave, which is her period. So our name comes from riding the crimson wave. But wave, the waves go with your moon and your cycle. Your period cycle also goes with your with the moon. So we're wave by to period pain. So you can WaveBye to, super plus tampons. You can WaveBye to missing school. You can WaveBye to, missing work or going out and doing social activities. Because when you take our products, it changes your relationship with your menstrual cycle, from one of annoyance and holding you back to one of, getting your time back.
Wow. And so you came up with all this because,
Well, I'm not sure like what the politics are on this podcast or what the consumers' politics are, but just to be straightforward, I am an abortion care provider, and what happened was I kept providing care and doing these painful procedures, and people obviously get anesthesia during the procedure, but they would sit up and look at me after the procedure and say, "Well, it's not as bad as my period," and I was like, "That is messed up. That is so messed up."
right.
This is something that people are experiencing every single month,
Mhm.
12 times a year for 35 plus years of their life. And they literally rather had an abortion than get their period. That is not okay. And that is not okay because I am an OBGYN, I'm a physician, and I know that there are evidence-based products out there that could totally change people's experience with their period. And I started looking into it. And like I was telling you, there's just a massive social justice issue here and a massive market opportunity. There's a real need for first line evidence based treatments on the market that are targeted towards period pain, that are for women, by women, and are built in a way to support women in behavior change around their cycle to take the right products at the right time that will reduce their period pain and bleeding and give them that time back. So, in terms of a little known fact, the amount of time that women menstruate amounts to like 7 years when you add it up over the lifetime, which is a huge amount of time that
Right.
they're missing out, or they just want to, they don't want to be a superwoman. They want to feel normal. And they're
Right.
missing out on this huge part of their life.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been single for 30 years. I've dated quite a bit over the last 30 years and noticed how different women respond to period pains for sure. And within a short time, I could predict where they were in their cycle and by their demeanor and how they handled a question or like, ooh, okay, I got it. Tread lightly, but and all the nuances of that. So would your product help with the mood instability as well?
Yes. So, and just in terms of consumer research that we did, the number one complaint for women is pain. They're actually like not even as bothered so much by the bleeding as they are by the pain. And then behind the pain is mood symptoms. They're very bothered by the mood symptoms.
Right.
They don't love, with the cycle variations and the hormone variations. Like there's a lot of information that's just starting to come out now about how the hormone levels can really impact your mood. And I think it's pretty liberating for people
Mhm.
because I think it helps them understand why they're feeling certain ways that they do. But yes, we have a daily product that you take, and our daily product treats anything that's not period pain or bleeding. So the daily product actually makes the cycle more regular, helps with menstrual migraine prevention, mood stabilization, iron deficiency, anemia. So yes, we are very focused on mood stabilization and support, and we do intend to provide prescriptions. There hasn't been great treatments for premenstrual syndrome and premenstrual dysphoric disorder, which are basically mood changes before the onset of period pain and bleeding. And so we really recognize that behind the pain, which is a major issue, does come this sort of secondary issue, or it's primary for many women, that they don't feel in control. They really don't, and they're suffering.
Mm-hmm. Well, somebody's in pain too. I mean, you're snippy and all that stuff too, just because of the pain. Interesting. So the product so you said no, we talked earlier. So you said that you have four different I guess
Bundle.
products bundles.
Yep.
And does it the product come in a bundle, or does it come separately, or how do you package this thing?
So the concept, when you come to our site, we do have a quiz to help you find the right product for you. It is incredibly important that when you take our products, you take the right product for your actual needs. If you're somebody who believes in supplements and wants to take supplements, and you have very bad period pain, but you want supplements and you take our mild bundle instead of our severe bundle, you're not going to be satisfied with the product because it won't be strong enough. So when you come to our website, we basically have a cycle regulator for women with no pain. We have a mild pain bundle, which is our cycle regulator, plus our premenstrual supplement that reduces period pain and bleeding. Then we have our moderate pain bundle, which is our cycle regulator, plus our medication, our premenstrual medication that you take before bleeding onset to reduce period pain and bleeding. And then the severe pain bundle is all three. So the decision you make on what's the right product for you depends on your pain level. Are you somebody who really doesn't suffer from period pain, but maybe suffers from mood instability? So you want to try the cycle regulator? Are you somebody who has one bad day, but it's mostly doesn't bother you too much, but you'd like to avoid that one bad day? I would call that mild.
Mm-hmm.
If you're somebody who like really needs to take medications to get through the day, I would call that moderate. Are you somebody who's actually missing out on life? I would call that severe.
Mm-hmm.
So you do need to take the right product for you. But all of them include the cycle regulator, which prevents symptoms that aren't pain and bleeding, and also helps women start to track their cycles, to engage with their period every day of the month, not just when the bleeding comes, so they
Mm-hmm.
can take that proactive approach and
Mm-hmm.
really be in control of something that's been out of control for them their whole lives.
Right. So what's the difference between what you do and Midol?
So, really good question. Thank you for asking that. Midol is essentially the active ingredient is Tylenol. Tylenol does work on the messengers that create pain in your body, but it works primarily on the brain and not on the uterus. So the way that your uterus makes messengers that are called prostaglandins, it needs to be treated not by Tylenol, not by Midol, but by non-steroidal anti-inflammatory medications or our evidence-based supplement works on the same pathway. So there's basically one pathway your uterus makes pain, and it needs to be treated by a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory or our supplement, which is evidence-based.
And what do you mean by a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory?
Those are Advil and Aleve or naproxen and ibuprofen. So those are first line treatments. The problem is that most women are taking them reactively. So they wait till there's pain, they wait till they feel bad. We're taking an approach of pre-treatment, and that really reduces period pain and bleeding.
God, it reduces bleeding from taking the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory. Huh.
Correct. Yep. And that's level 1A evidence behind that. There's been Cochrane meta-analyses, which is the highest levels of medical evidence. These are large meta-analyses that take all of the literature and sort of compile them and do a statistical analysis. And non-steroidal anti-inflammatories are number one treatment for pain, and they're about number 2 or 3 treatment for bleeding. So there are other prescription medications that can be taken to reduce heavy menstrual bleeding, but non-steroidal anti-inflammatories that are taken premenstrually do reduce period bleeding as well. You can see on our website, we have some testimonials. It's usually reducing about 2 to 3 days of bleeding.
Awesome. And what's your investment for your product?
My personal investment, or what do you mean? Oh,
No,
what is the consumer going to pay?
yeah, consumer. What are consumers
Okay.
going to pay for it?
Yep. And so that just depends on the consumer's willingness to prepay. So we do sell a single unit. We sell a month-to-month subscription that you can cancel anytime, or we do 3-month prepaid or 12-month prepaid. So you can get almost 50% off if you do the 12-month prepaid. So the price points for the 12-month are around 65 for the cycle regulator, 75 for the mild or the moderate, and 85 for the severe
Per month?
per month.
Per month.
Yep. But we've started with some of our like sort of test sales, and we found, so like somebody who tested our product, she had such a life-changing experience. She straight up bought the 12-month and got that discount because she knew it worked for her. She knew that it was going to change her life, and it was very worth the money. So
Gotcha.
sometimes when there's a higher price point, it conveys the fact that you've actually got a quality product that works.
Gotcha.
All sells for like $7 because it doesn't work and no one's ever going to buy it again.
Right. So, so you said so 65, 70, 65 to how much a month?
65 is for the cycle regulator. Oh, you mean if you buy it like a single unit?
No, so you had the like 1, 2, 3, 4 packages, right? So your cycle regulator is 65 a month.
Correct.
And how much is, say, package number 4?
That one's going to be 85 a month with the 12-month
Okay.
prepaid.
All right. So not that 12-month prepay at 85 a month. Okay.
Yep, those are the lowest prices you can get. Those are the prepaids, and then they go up from there. But we usually recommend kind of like if you've never tried it before, you should try the 3-month because in case you don't track your cycle yet, you might miss the timing a little bit. So you want to buy like enough that you can take a couple months to sort of figure it out and get
Figure it
it.
out. Yeah.
Really important to take it at the right time for maximum efficacy.
Do you have guarantees on your product, or how does
Yeah,
that?
yeah, if it doesn't work, you get a money back guarantee minus the, restocking fee and shipping and things like that.
Right. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, I
And
mean, the good thing about evidence-based is it means that like across large populations, these things work.
right.
And of course, we have the anecdotal evidence. In the research that we've done, women say they trust something that's FDA approved, they trust something that their doctor tells them is okay, or they trust what other women tell them. So this product is FDA approved. I am a doctor telling you that it works. And then there are women on our website telling you their own experience in their own words. And so I think it's a high trust situation. Like it's
Gotcha.
coming to you with all of the pieces that are necessary to prove that it works.
And so you're selling from your websites, you're doing more of a direct sales model. Are you looking to go retail as well?
We're doing direct to consumer, and then I would call it more like a partnership model. We do have affiliates. Our affiliates sort of they can be OBGYNs, they can be pelvic floor physical therapists. We have a pediatric dentist who wants to get it out to like her population. So we do have individuals who see consumers and will be able to sort of explain the product to them. It's important to me that we have that one-on-one relationship. So women that trust their providers can learn more about the product and buy from their providers. We will also do partnerships with other companies. So it's sort of an affiliate model as well as influencers. So our unit economics are built such that an affiliate percentage is built in. So we're trying
Gotcha.
to sell direct to consumer and then through an affiliate model. Retail will come later. I kind of don't want to go retail takes such a large percentage of your margin. I
Right.
kind of want to be in a position of power and know that I have a good product and some traction and have retail interested in me as opposed to me going to retail.
Right.
And I think that will come. I think that will come as we are able to scale and lower our lower our cost of goods sold and our customer acquisition cost. We may be in a more powerful position to look at retail, but I think retail is a good growth strategy for us.
Gotcha. And you're raising money or have raised money to start this company.
Yeah.
And you can't really advertising it. But anyway, so you're raising money for this. And how how are people hearing about you other than podcasts or social? I guess social media is big on what you're doing as well.
Hearing about us in terms of raising awareness for our products or hearing about WaveBye as an investment opportunity?
No, the product, the sales of your product.
The sales of the product, yeah. So We do have like a pediatrician on the team, and she's an educator, and she's built a huge following. She has 1.4 million TikTok followers. So I think that's sort of an awareness generating channel for us there, education about the products. So yes, I think our sort of channel that will eventually likely be most effective is going to be influencers, not necessarily macro influencers, but people trying the product,
Mm-hmm.
sending product to influencers, having them try it and have a good experience, and then share that with their communities.
How about insurance companies? Are they on board with this product, or how's that working?
So we haven't pursued the traditional like insurance and healthcare system route yet. In order to do that, we're going to need to do some prospective research. So as I mentioned, we are collecting some data, but we will probably need a clinical trial in order to get insurance coverage. We will apply for HSA, FSA coverage, and our medication will be covered by that. But in terms of going to more traditional providers, I think it's a great route. I think it will absolutely, the other opportunities go to employers. It will absolutely reduce absenteeism. It will absolutely for insurers. I don't know what the value prop necessarily is for an insurer of proactive period management because it's an evergreen problem that they're going to need to treat.
Mm-hmm.
It would make their insuree very happy to be able to pay for it and support that sort of proactive and preventative care. But I can see the value prop being of more interest to like employer sponsored insurer who to see 2 to 3 less days of bleeding and not missing work is an actual tangible impact of
Right,
that treatment on their employee population.
right. They can work some type of special deals or whatever for their employees.
Exactly.
Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. Man, like you got a lot of passion around this too, which is really beautiful as well. That's one thing I'm really enjoying about doing the show. There's so many people coming up with some really amazing ideas that are really shaking up the status quo, and they're so passionate about what they do. And you were sharing some information about Midol, the numbers, the monetary numbers they're doing per year, and and other pain relief product. Can you mind sharing those? I found that fascinating as well.
Yeah, I think like there's some very important numbers around this issue, and what I would say is like business numbers related to this are like the total addressable market here, just the market is like 75 million women menstruating 12 times per year for 35 years. Like incalculable TAM, that's an important number. 7 years of lost time, a decade of lost time, an important number. And then something I think really hammers home that Midol is not appropriate treatment for women is if you look into some of these pain relievers, if you look at, say, Advil's like revenue per year is 250 billion with a B. They are obviously treating everything with Advil, right? Like arthritis and fevers and headache and back pain and period pain. So that they're covering more than just period pain, but it is a huge amount of money that they're bringing in because they have an effective product. When it comes to Midol, which I've told you is an ineffective product as a physician, the evidence of that from like a company or a business perspective, Midol, even with a rebrand that they recently did, only brought them in an additional 25 million with an M for a total of about 68 million with an M per year, dollars per year. This is a company that entered the market in 1911. They have been the market leader for like 115 years almost, and they are only making $68 million, an order of magnitude less than, what these other pain relievers are selling. And so I think that is like very clear evidence of what I'm telling you, which is that what's out there is not sufficient. That there's some very basic premises to WaveBye. One, we believe women are worth investing in. Two, we see period pain and symptoms as a barrier to their liberty. And three, what's out there on the market is insufficient.
Hmm.
And so it's important for us to come in and treat people properly, get them the care that they actually need and what's right for them so that they can achieve their goals.
And men men who are in relationships with women who have heavy periods and stuff, it's like the week before, sometimes it can be really tough. Then the week of can be tough. So,
Even
you
more
know,
than 7 years.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so So 50% of the time you're with somebody, they're,
Uncomfortable.
yeah, and irritable and, fighting over stupid stuff. And, it's men may be your biggest customers.
Yes, I want to tell you that's interesting that you asked that because I was, I hadn't raised the money yet and I live across the street from a huge Greek Orthodox church and they have a huge festival every June. So my kids put out a lemonade stand last June because hundreds of people go by to go to the church to go to the festival and they made like a lot of money on their lemonade stand and I took a piece of cardboard Amazon box, cut it out and wrote waveby.co stop period pain before it starts or something like that. And I put it on the table. And I had so many men ask
Wow.
about it. It was awesome. I had dads asking me, I had boyfriends asking me. And so then what I did is I went online and I did a survey and I honed my survey results only to dads. So the first question was, do you have a daughter? And if it was yes, they could stay. And if it was no, they got kicked out of the survey.
Hmm.
So we had a cohort of men and I asked them, would you ever buy a product for your daughter for period pain? 95% of them said yes.
Wow.
I asked them, would you ever subscribe to a product for your daughter's period pain? 85% of them said yes. And I asked them, what would make you trust a product to buy it for your daughter? And they said, evidence and physician recommendation, and which we've got. Again, we've got the evidence, and here's a physician recommending it to you. So, dads out there listening, grandfathers,
Yeah.
anyone, boyfriends who care.
Yeah.
Yes, we could be raunchy about it, but we can also just like if you're thinking about helping people feel better, you too can help women around you, and you should
Yeah.
because you
Share
want
it.
them to feel better too.
Yep. Share it. Share what this is about. Interesting. So how do people find you?
Yeah, so me personally, you can find. I started a founding like Instagram and TikTok. So my personal like Instagram and TikTok is at founding, like founding a company, FOUNDING_WaveBye. So founding WaveBye. So if you want to hear me talk about the company a little bit, I do like daily videos where I just talk about something interesting that day from WaveBye. But if you're looking to buy product or to learn more about our company or to learn more about the products, you should go to www.wave, like wave, WAVE, buy, like goodbye, BYE .co, just CO. So WAVEBYE.co is our webpage. There's an about us there. You can see the team. You can see the papers that I've written. You can see some other podcasts that I've been on. You can click in and learn about our products. Right now, we have our mild pain product for sale just to sort of test our channels. But we should be fully launched in about a month. But yeah, we would love to hear from you. I absolutely love hearing from people. People have been following me on Facebook. I'm old, so I've been on Facebook 20 years or whatever. And people all walks of my life have been following the videos, going to the website, giving me feedback, asking questions about, giving me ideas about additional FAQ. So like, we're at the point in the company's lifestyle that like we want to build those relationships with consumers. We want to hear from men. Like
Hmm.
you tell me, Dr. Scherer, like how do I speak to the men out there? How do I raise an awareness with them? Is this podcast
Hmm.
a good way to do it? Like where are the men and how do I reach them to help them help those around them?
Yeah. Well, I think men are becoming way more in touch with feelings. It used to be, um, we would compartmentalize, men compartmentalize their feelings. And here's my analogy for a man compartmentalizing his feelings. Here's a bowl of punch with a few turds floating around in it. And they take a piece of cheesecloth and they strain that punch bowl and they clump it all up and they leave that still in the punch bowl. So men have a way of compartmentalizing it, but it affects all areas of their life still. They just don't want anybody to see it, you know, but it still affects all areas of their life. And I think men care a lot more than men have been let on to say. And so with the women around them in their lives, they watch them go through this, and men are kind of like natural fixers, like how can I help you? So if this works to the degree you say, I mean, hey, try this out, So it's a real cool way for men to get involved and help do the fixing by recommending.
I love that. Period pain, fix it. That's the
Yeah,
hashtag for men.
yeah.
It's a good idea.
Thank you. Anyway, oh boy, I'm turning red. I can feel it. Uh,
Well, I'll give you your own code, Mark, so people can come click on your website and click to ours and enter your code, and you can be an affiliate as well. You can help men help women.
awesome.
I would
Thank,
love that, honestly. I mean, women's health is highly politicized, and to hear you ask the question and convey that you care and that you think other men care, like this is a wonderful way in the
yeah,
current political environment to step up and share and show that you
yeah,
care.
yeah. Of course they care, but it's you can't fix something for so long, so long, so long, and finally you get to a place where you just become go into a state of resignation. Like this just is the way it's going to be. This is just it, and I'm going to learn to live with it. But if there's just something out there that really does take care of it, then let's do that. I mean, that's easy.
Yep.
That's just how. I mean, men have a switch, and the switch goes yum or yuck, and that's about it.
Yep.
And so if it's a yuck, it's like, oh shit, what am I going to do with that? So they'll try to compartmentalize that yuck, but they much rather have it turned on to the yummy side of life. So anyway, this is awesome. Um, Thank you so much for being on the show. And I do have one parting question I always ask. And
Yeah, yeah.
my parting question is, what do you love about life?
What do I love about life? I love, like, I love opportunity. I just love learning and reinventing myself. Every 4 years, I've tried something different. I was a really good doctor. Then I was interested in research. Then I was a really good researcher. Now I'm interested in business, and I'm sure I'll be very good at business. I love the opportunity. I'm just so grateful that my potential has the chance to be realized. And that is the incentive for all of what I do. Other women should have that opportunity as well. So, this is a long answer. I apologize, but the reason that I
Good.
believe that is when I was 15, I started all of this. I went and lived with a family in Kenya, and a woman took care of me. And like we were getting water 5 times a day, and like maybe the fifth day, she said, I have a college education, and like this is my life. And you're 15, and you came over here, and you're gonna get to go back. And it was like this immense, it was this
Wow.
immense lesson in privilege and this brain exploding realization that yes, I do have potential, and I'm going to be able to hopefully realize it through this company and beyond.
Right.
And I need everyone to have that opportunity. And specifically, I need women to have that opportunity. And that's a place I can have impact. So I need to remove the barriers that are around women holding
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. And it's interesting. One of the big things is most people get enamored or seduced by complaining, and they compete on how much complaining they can do and who can complain the most and who's had the worst pain, the worst this, the worst, all those things. So once people go down that particular perspective, they get locked into that. But if you can take all that complaining and see the opportunity in it, like you're doing here. Like I heard somebody complain, I said the opportunity. Those are the people who change the world. So when you can when you can flip that switch and really start to go, okay, so what is life telling me here? What is this complaint telling me? What's the business opportunity here? And whether you're working as an entrepreneur or whether you're working for a company, that little skill set will take you far. So beautiful the way you're applying it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for being on the show, and
Thank you so much.
I look
This was
forward to
great.
hearing. Awesome.
I'm
Thank you.
so grateful. Thank you for reaching out.
You're welcome. I
Wonderful
just
thing.
turned red for a little bit, so that was cool.
Well, it's cool that you give people an opportunity to come on and talk, and there's no strings attached. I mean, I was just blown away that this was just an opportunity for me to talk about myself and my company, which obviously everybody loves to do. And so thank you
Yeah,
for that platform, and thank you for being interested in what we're doing, and very genuine about the role that men can play in that process, which I think is a heartwarming thing to hear.
awesome. Thank you very much.